I'm Karen. I'm back to say welcome to my world and back to talk some more inspired by the corona changes because I'm sure it's filling everyone's heads and not just mine. Just look at the headlines these days. Someone close to me has the way of looking at things that it will always go wrong. And then when something goes well, that person will tell me, well, that was only once. Next time it will go wrong again. I think it's very symptomatic for people that we expect things to turn out badly. We rarely have the disposition of thinking that automatically that it will turn out well. It seems to be really hard for us to attain that state of mind. So if things go badly, we just get our notions confirmed. If something goes well, it was an accident and will not happen again. And I see a lot of that these days. I'm beginning to hear the ghost of 1929 whispering down the hall saying, oh my goodness, this financial crisis looming ahead of us is going to be just like 1929 and everything will go to hell. But seriously, that was 90 years ago. Almost 100 years ago. Why would the same things happen now? Why would the scenario be the same? Why would the same things happen now that did 90 years ago? If you got in a car in 1929, would it look anything like the car you would get into today? Hopefully not. When you had to call someone, what did you do in 1929? I would have to look it up, but I would say you went to the post office and you called the switchboard and they would connect you to the few people who would like to have their own phone or otherwise probably leave a message that they could call you back at a given time. I'm not entirely sure, but I know for certain you did not pick up your cell phone and just tap a number. That I know we did not do in 1929. So everything else has changed. Why is it that we think any financial changes, any changes in an economy that absolutely does need revising and changing, why do we think it has to go like that? What is it in humans that automatically assumes the worst and that things is going to work out just like it did 90 years ago, almost 100 years ago? A challenge from me, and it's not my challenge, it was passed on by Cryon, the source I quote often, is how about expecting the unexpected? How about waiting to see what happens? We are in very new territory here. We passed a marker in 2012, something that I will try to explain in a later talk. But we passed the marker. And we have never walked this path before. As a human race, we've done circles, heaven knows, and repeated ourselves for so many years, but this is new. We have never been on this path before. We cannot know what will happen, except I'm pretty sure it will not happen just like it did 100 years ago, because nothing else does. So much is changing around us. And we need these changes because so much of our world, economy, society, trade, human treatment of humans, etc., is based on power and greed and manipulation. And I'm pretty sure that most of you will agree with me that it would be nice if it wasn't. If you ever, I don't know how many of you have had a redecorated kitchen. I have. It's hell on earth. It's really bad. It's one big mess. Everything, dust is everywhere. You have no kitchen for a while. You have to go takeaway, or you have to cook on a single plate. You have no stove. You might have the microwave, but it's in the living room. You have to tear down all the old cabinets. Some of them might not come down easy. You have to use a crowbar and some strong men to pull it down. You have to put together the new cabinets, and your hands may hurt. I don't mind it because I was the one screwing all the new cabinets together. And you have to put them up, and then you have to do all the little finishes. But suddenly, at some point, it clicks into place from looking at the old kitchen and saying, okay, this needs changing, to making all the plans and getting the new elements. And then you're in this really horrible construction phase that you just never want to be in, and you hate it, and nothing works, and you don't eat properly, and always takes longer than you thought. And suddenly, the new cabinets are there, and the new tabletops, and the new floor, and the new walls. And the switch from this is never going to work, and I'll be caught in this remodeling forever, to, hey, wait a minute, we're almost there. It happens really fast. Obviously, there's nothing unexpected about remodeling your kitchen, but how about we try to expect the unexpected from what we're seeing in our world today? Yes, there are changes. Yes, it looks scary, but how do we know where it's going to go? It went a certain way once, but have you ever seen anything in life that's absolutely the same every single time, especially 100 years apart? So I think we need to keep an open mind, and I think it's going to help us maybe to keep the fear at bay and see what happens. I know many times in my life I felt something was a disaster and something was going horribly wrong. But when I looked back on it, it actually turned out to be a blessing. It was scary at the time, but I ended up in the right place. And I do feel that is where we are right now. I know it's overwhelming. I know we can't see where we're going, but I am convinced that we're not going anywhere we've ever been before. That is my absolute core belief. And I want to challenge everyone to join me in that, to expect the unexpected. We see all these reports, oh, it's going to be 18 months before we have the vaccine and we're stuck with this. Well, how about one of the drugs that will actually work? They have interesting, promising tests running right now. How about the vaccine is ready faster? How about the economic changes being something that ends up being better for a lot of people? Because right now, honestly, I don't see it's all that great. Some countries are doing okay, a lot of countries are not. Also, ones called first world countries. I want to point fingers, but I have my eye on a couple. And we do need these changes. But it's never a pretty sight while it's happening. But I do not believe we're tearing down the house. I believe we're remodeling the kitchen. And I'm pretty sure it's going to look greater than we ever thought. And I think we will just feel a lot better during the remodeling process if we expect the unexpected and look for that. And then when it shows up, we can say, oh my goodness, see? That's what I was looking for, but I didn't know. Because we don't know what we don't know. If we've never seen it before, we cannot imagine it. We can only imagine scenarios that are known. We cannot imagine what we've never seen and what we've never experienced. My favorite example is Back to the Future 2, where they go into the future and they have hovering skateboards and a fax machine. Because no one at the time could imagine cell phones. So we can only imagine what we know, and that's our limitation. And I think that's one of the reasons why we get stuck in this thing. Oh my goodness, it's going to be like 1929. No, it's not. This is new. This is brand new territory, and we have no idea what's going to happen because we haven't been here before. So I'm excited about this. I hate the remodeling process. I don't like the dust. I don't like the hard work. I don't like not being able to cook, but I do love a new kitchen. So that's it for me now.